Sahul, Australia, a lost world of underwater history and megafauna, and a perfect opportunity for me to make this video. Long before Australia became the world's largest quarantine zone for venom and regret, it was part of something bigger, something bolder, something geologically clingy, something even more venomous. Meet Sahul, the prehistoric landmass that fused Australia, New Guinea and Tasmania into one glorious slab of walkable real estate. No boats, no borders, just cool vibes and giant murder wombats, because it turns out that beneath the waves off the northern coast of Kimberley, present-day Australia, there's more than just confused fish and discarded snorkels, because very, very recently a bunch of divers armed with oxygen tanks and an overdeveloped sense of academic optimism have stumbled upon the remains of a long-forgotten human settlement. Yes, apparently Australia used to be walkable, habitable, and brace yourself, connected to other places. This underwater ghost town, buried under thousands of years of sediment and scientific neglect, was once a bustling hub of prehistoric life. Tens of thousands of years ago, before sea levels decided to ruin everything, humans actually lived here. They built, they thrived, and they probably complained about the weather, just like we do now, except their climate change came with fewer graphs and more drowning. And for a brief, shining moment, roughly 65,000 years ago, Sahul was the hottest destination for early humans who thought, sure, let's go somewhere with giant, feathered, might-as-well-be dinosaurs and no exit strategy. I am Ancient Swan, thank you for coming, and in this episode we're about to find out what I'm blabbering on about. What is the Sahul? Where did it go? Who lived here? What did they eat? And was that part of the world just as bloody dangerous to human life back then as it is now? So, a settlement discovered deep under the sea off the northern coast of present-day Australia. Is that what you heard me say? And the answer is yes, you did. Naturally, archaeologists are losing their minds. The discovery is reshaping how we think about early humans, which is academic code for we were wrong again, but this time it's exciting. According to the Australian Museum, who've graciously decided to care now, molecular clock estimates, DNA studies, and a few dusty bones suggest this site dates back 48,000 to 50,000 years. That's late Pleistocene territory, when humans were still figuring out how not to get eaten by giant monster things with teeth as long as your longest leg. Early humans didn't sail into Sahul, they wandered in, probably chasing a snack or fleeing a cousin with a sharp stick. And once they arrived, they were greeted by a welcoming committee of evolutionary experiments that looked like God just went and outsourced design to Satan. Quite an oversight, even if I do say so myself, because Sahul did not do cute, it did colossal and vaguely homicidal. For starts, we have the Diprotodon, a wombat the size of a hatchback. Herbivore, yes, but so are the cows in my local field, and I wouldn't want to piss them off either, and they're not even quarter the size of a wee car. Then there's the Thylacoleo, which I'm only going to pretend to care about pronouncing properly. Thylacoleo was a marsupial lion. Because ancient times, Australia looked at lions and thought, what if it climbed trees and had a pouch? Imagine a kangaroo, but twice as big and with a penchant for biting instead of punching. And of course, you can't have Australia 50,000 BC without the Genyornis. And again, my ability to care about my pronunciation is superseded only by my ability to not care. The Genyornis was a giant flightless bird with the attitude of a goose and the body mass of a linebacker. Its eggs were delicious, which is probably why it's extinct. Humans saw omelettes, not ornithological wonder. This wasn't a continent, it was a gladiator arena. Every step was a gamble. You weren't just surviving, you were auditioning for a nature documentary, narrated by a man like my dad, who sounds disappointed in your choices. Not to worry though, because in time-honored tradition, the local humans looked at these local monsters and saw a local buffet. And you would, wouldn't you? Because it's either eat or be eaten. Fight the giant, scary, toothy, biting things or starve. So humans show up. They've got fire, spears, and a healthy disrespect for local fauna. And what do? They immediately start messing with the ecosystem like toddlers in a china shop. Cue the extinction of everything adorable and monstrous. Diprotodon, gone. Genyornis, scrambled. Thylacoleo probably tried to eat one too many bipeds and got speared for its trouble. Like, there's a reason there's no more lions in Europe, you know? And it's not because they were tasty. It's just that now and again some things just get killed off because it's an unpleasant necessity of human survival. But let's not pretend this was a clean break, and also, it wasn't just the humans that were having a merry old time messing stuff up. Sahul was a slow-motion disaster. Climate change started melting the ice caps, sea levels rose, and the land bridge began to drown. And Australia, New Guinea, and Tasmania all just went and drifted apart. So yes, this isn't just a pile of wet rocks. It's one of the oldest known sites of human habitation, not only in this region but in the world, which means for once Australia gets to be ancient and relevant, a rare combo. But wait, there's more. These underwater ruins of the northern coast of modern-day Australia aren't just historically spicy. They're also environmentally tragic. The site offers clues about how early humans adapted to their surroundings right before those surroundings betrayed them. Rising sea levels, courtesy of melting ice and planetary indifference, slowly turned dry land into scuba territory. Now scientists can trace this watery betrayal through layers of sand, stone and bone, the three main keys of nature's passive-aggressive filing system. It's a reminder that the Earth doesn't care about your settlement, your species, your god, or your sense of permanence. It just melts, floods and moves on. Apparently our ancestors weren't just surviving, they were thriving, building lives, communities, and probably arguing over who got the best cave. All while the climate played its favorite game of, guess what's underwater now? The settlement's existence was revealed through painstaking underwater exploration, and what they found was a treasure trove of artifacts and signs of human life, including stone tools and lithic fragments showing evidence of tool-making and use, as well as charcoal and hearth remnants indicating controlled fire use and cooking. The super divers also found possible habitation structures, which, while not yet confirmed as buildings, some formations suggest repeated human activity and spatial organization. Hopefully further deep dives will get to the bottom of this. This Sahul landmass, nearly 250,000 square miles in size, or 1.6 times the area of the United Kingdom, but with less Union Jacks and more giant wombats, or 27 million giraffes lying side by side, or 1.3 million elephants standing on tippy toes, or 1,100,000,000 bananas for scale, was once a thriving ecosystem. Think lakes, rivers, and even an inland sea. And what they have uncovered isn't just a forgotten world, it's a reminder that humans have always been annoyingly good at surviving, even when the planet tries to drown them. This land also hosted a complex network of freshwater and saltwater systems. Lakes, rivers, inland seas, the whole hydrological buffet. It was a lifeline for an estimated 50 to 500,000 people. That's a lot of prehistoric foot traffic for a place that's now mostly fish and drowning. So yes, Sahul was once a vibrant, interconnected world, and now it's a cautionary tale buried under the ocean, waiting for divers and sarcastic scriptwriters like me to dig it up and ask, what else have we forgotten? And so, like all great civilizations before it, like Rome, Atlantis and blockbusters, Sahul's thriving colony met its end not with a bang, but with a slow, soggy whimper. Around 12,000 years ago, as the Pleistocene epoch packed its bags and sea levels began their rise, half the landmass was unceremoniously covered by the ocean. No warning, no refund, just a watery foreclosure. The inhabitants, faced with the kind of environmental upheaval that would make modern climate conferences cry, did what humans do best. They adapted. They packed up their spears, their stories, and their probably very confused livestock and headed for higher ground. Imagine the conversations. Hey, wasn't there a path here last week? Yeah, it's underwater now. Cool, guess we live here forever then. And thus, Australia became the isolated island of venom, ass-biting poisonous toilet spiders, and kangaroo boxing matches we know today. The adaptability and resilience of these ancient people really is amazing, especially when compared with modern humans who panic and cry when their Wi-Fi drops. These early pioneers didn't just survive, they reinvented themselves. They turned climate catastrophe into a migration strategy. They were some of the original climate refugees. But don't get too comfortable, this discovery is just the tip of the archaeological iceberg. Researchers are still poking around the ruins, trying to reconstruct the paleoecology of a landscape that once flourished above the waves. Translation? They're reverse engineering a drowned continent using sand, bones, and the sheer willpower of underfunded science. Sahul may be gone, but its ghost lingers. In the DNA of Aboriginal Australians, in the submerged landscapes of the Arafura Sea, and in the collective trauma of anyone who's ever Googled Australian wildlife and screamed. And so, you beautiful little YouTube watcher, we're almost at an end. but not until we've recapped what wonderful things we've learned today. And also, very quickly, not until I've taken 10 seconds to politely ask that if you have enjoyed anything we've been doing today, please also do like and subscribe. It's one of the few things that gives me energy to bother getting out of bed in the morning. And when I say morning, I mean early afternoon-ish. Thank you. And we continue. So, I guess one thing I've learned today is that just because a supercontinent is a supercontinent, that doesn't mean it might not also just be super temporary. Extinction is inevitable, and humans have always been slightly too clever for their own good. Sahul was a land of opportunity, danger and prehistoric chaos, a place where you could walk to Asia but probably shouldn't. And it's not just an Australian story. This is also a reminder that submerged continental margins have played a crucial role in early human expansion across the globe. This is Australia's Doggerland, or maybe Doggerland is just Europe's Sahul. And either way, people be getting wet and moving on for quite a while now, and it's important we realize that this tradition probably hasn't finished yet. Goodbye, Florida. One wonders where all your old folk will migrate to in 50 years' time. As humanity continues to grapple with climate change, mostly by holding summits and hoping for the best, there's something poetic about looking back at a civilization that already lived through it. Sahul's people didn't have carbon offsets or doom scrolling. They had rising seas, disappearing coastlines, and the kind of existential clarity that comes from watching your backyard slowly become a coral reef. The rise of undersea archaeology in Australia is finally giving these ancient stories the spotlight they deserve. It's helping us understand migration patterns, ecological collapse, and the long tradition of humans being blindsided by nature. And as technology improves, scientists are hopeful that more submerged secrets will emerge, because nothing says progress like discovering your ancestors lived in places you now snorkel. So, yes, as we continue to explore the mysteries hidden beneath the waves, we gain valuable insights into our shared human journey. And if we're lucky, maybe we'll learn something before our own coastlines start pulling a Sahul and quietly disappear. I doubt it, though. I've been paying close attention to the humans I'm constantly surrounded by, and I'm finding a large part of them to be utterly fucking useless. So that's all for now. Don't forget to do the liking and subscribing, because we will 1,000,000% be back for something else very, very soon. And don't forget the world's greatest Patreons, the apples of my eye, George H, DD, David R, Thad S, Anthony T, Malichi I, and Stephen. Bless your lovely little feet. Peace, love, and my spirit animal, the giant sloth in a giant hammock. Goodbye.